Hi everyone, Jeremy Ballsmith with Towne Housing Real Estate. Today's another episode of Talk of the Town, and I am visited by Libby Dalsky, our Chief Performance and Retention Officer. Libby, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Awesome. Great. Hey, great to have you. Thanks for coming back. And today we're talking about a little bit of a unique topic, something that we've never done before, and crazy idea I had that I think I may have dragged some in on and forced others to do, but we started a book club. And the book was Good Company by Arthur Blank, the original CEO and founder of Home Depot. And I just want to kind of get your take on the experience of having a book club at work, how that differs from experience with, book clubs with your girlfriends, and, what your takeaways were and how that impacted, your thought process through your workday. Yeah. What are your thoughts?
This is my third book club that I'm in, one professionally and two personally. This one's obviously a lot different. There's no drinking or eating or
not opposed. Not opposed.
But this one's a lot different because it's more serious. I mean, we actually talk about the book in this one. So that's been fun to actually read the book, underline things that stick out to me, bring it to the table and talk about the book for a good hour with my peers and colleagues.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's been good conversation too. I mean, I think a couple people we kind of get lost in. I know there's a couple chapters where I'm like, all right, stay strong, just act like you love this. But then there's chapters that hit me, and I'm like, wow, like I need to do better for the company. I need to do better for my personal life, for my business, for my team. And I look at this Arthur Blank as such a role model in so many different lights. Being a good family man, being a good businessman for the community. And it's just like, man, how if he has the time to do all that he does, and this is something Paul told me from brokerage, if he has all the time to do all that he does running multiple billion-dollar companies and can write a book, Paul said, I have the time to read it. And I'm like, I thought that was really good because I never give these things time of day, but this one I have, and it's really taught me to kind of cool my jets and kind of think about the problem from a people perspective, and that, the business will come, growth will come. But what about yourself? What is your takeaways from this book so far?
I think the biggest takeaways for me on this book is seeing another leader, a different organization going through some of the hardships that we see on a day-to-day basis. I come across these crazy scenarios, and I just don't know if other companies experience this, if this is something that's just a town housing problem, if it's a people problem, also we're technically landlords, so that comes with its own weird things. But it was really good to hear from a really successful businessman on how he started the Home Depot from the ground up, and then expanded on his ranch and his football team and his soccer team and his arenas that he has. So to hear that he has really big problems, not that we don't, but they're just different level. We're a lot smaller than the Home Depot. Mm-hmm. But to hear some of the things that they've gone through and had to overcome and still came out successful at the end was really great to hear. Yeah.
And I think there's no gain without the challenge. You kind of have to go through the thick of it in the forest to get to the other side. And I think that we're in that, I think, in good ways. I felt like the book was a great way to kick off this whole vision and mission and values conversation. And I think it's done that to some extent. I think some parts, like I said, hit harder than others. But I think overall, it's been a cool way to look at ourselves and say, how do we redesign, and how do we, in a sense, cut ourselves some slack when things aren't going right. It's part of the game. And it's nice to see that, like you said, the big companies go through it too. So.
Yeah. And I think it's really eye-opening too, that in the book they talk about everyone wears the orange apron, whether you're the CFO or you're Arthur Blank, you're walking the aisles with an orange apron on, asking customers, how can I help you? What are you looking for? Yeah. What do you need? So no one is too high up at the organization or too important to talk to its customers and make sure they're happy. He also has another important take on the book where all of his employees and staff members are considered associates. Mm-hmm. And I think that's just the level of detail that it goes to show your valued staff, that they are really important to the organization, no matter what level they're at.
Yeah, respect for the team, because, we talked in other episodes about people, and that's like our main differentiating factor. But, when it comes to the orange vest, really humble yourself and learn all the ways to be a good, service provider, care about the customer obsession. I mean, the book's really good at that. And that's something also that, we're trying to do at Towne, where we want to be customer focused. I think recently we've done a great job repurposing really strong team members into different roles, or converting part-time people into full-time roles, consolidating departments, cross-training. And I think that's made us stronger these last, particularly 2 to 3 months. And I think it's showing us like, wow, like when we need them to step up, they are going to step up for the company. And in turn, they get purpose out of that. I just think it's taken the team to a whole new level. And I think it could be a business model moving forward. It's cross-training and making sure we all understand what our colleague next to us is going through. And I think that's good.
Yeah,
good for business.
I think that's really important is, if you're in accounting, it's not always apparent what a property manager is doing, or maintenance out in the field, driving around in their trucks and having to go into these tenants' homes. It's easy to lose sight of sitting in the office in the air conditioning and being annoyed that you have to talk on the phone about their neighbor's car being parked behind them, when these technicians are, actually going into situations where it could be unsafe, or they don't know who's behind the door when they open it. So it's really is humbling to see, and to try and cross-train the rest of the team on what everyone else is doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, jury's still out on book club number 2. I did find a book, but we'll see. But I appreciate everything that you do, and thank you for coming today.
Yeah, thank you for having me.